Hey, what's up, guys? Sumner Healey from landinvestor.co. We've got another Q&A session coming directly from our Discord, landinvestor.co/Discord. It's free to join if you want to get involved, and maybe you can even get one of your questions answered here on YouTube. All right, so we got a question from David, and the question is about requesting your VAs to record their screen during working hours. And if yes, which software are you guys using? So this is like a common concern when folks just first start hiring virtual assistants, right? Or anyone that works remotely, because do you really know what they're working on all day? Not really, right? But I have strong opinions about this. And I'm not saying my opinions are right, but I'm going to share with you what I've learned after hiring, I don't even know, 40, 50 VAs over the years cumulative, and interviewing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and receiving thousands and thousands and thousands of VA applicants. I think I've learned a thing or two in the process. I think company culture is really important. In fact, I think it's kind of downplayed. I used to poo-poo it. I thought that stuff was so silly. It's really not. Right? As your team grows, having company culture and having values is kind of the glue that keeps it all together when you're not there. Okay. So if I'm not watching over someone's shoulder, how do they behave within our corporation or within our enterprise, whatever the hell you want to call it? The way we can do that is by creating values and creating culture. It's almost like having a blueprint of what to do when I'm not there or when someone else isn't there. So when they're alone in their apartment doing the work and they're in a completely different country, they have an operating manual on how we do things. Now, when we talked about company culture, I think spying on your VAs or any employee through screen sharing sets a really bad precedent. What you're telling them is, hey, I don't trust you. I don't know about you, but I don't want to work in that kind of environment. I don't want to work in an environment where I'm not trusted right off the bat. I don't want to work in an environment where I'm micromanaged. I don't want to work in an environment where it feels like my boss is trying to squeeze every ounce of return or energy out of me. That sets the wrong example. So instead, what do we do? Well, first off, it starts by hiring the right people. Okay. If you're hiring people in your business where you feel like you need to spy on them through screen sharing, you've hired the wrong person. In fact, right there, that tells me that you probably have some issues with that VA, either in terms of performance or in terms of them not clocking in or being honest about their hours. To me, that's grounds to get them the heck out of here. I don't want to work with people like that. And those people do exist. I'm not going to lie. Those people are certainly out there, and you will hire a few bad actors. But this is really why we spend so much time on the soft skills for hiring and who they are as a person, opposed to technical skills or what the resume says. Now, it depends on the role. There are some roles where technical skills are important, but for the most part, I want to know about who they are. What are their aspirations? What's their vision for their life? What do they do outside of work? What do they care about? What are their values? And if I find folks that line up with our values, we're in a good place. Now, if you guys are curious what our company values are, I'll share them here. The first value is how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'm a big believer that if you can't fill out your KPI sheet or your time tracking sheet, you're going to miss the big stuff. I really do think that. That's why when I see the trash full, I take that trash out because I know what kind of person that makes me in every other area of my life. Same thing, dishes in the sink, I wash those dishes because all of this is connected. I expect the same thing for our team. If someone disregards the small stuff, they don't deserve the big stuff, right? You've got to show the world that I take care of the small shit and therefore I'm deserving of the big stuff. That might be a good wake-up call for some of you guys watching this video as well. Some people are going to disagree on this value. That's fine. It's personal, subjective, but it's a code that I live my life by. It's an expectation for the people that I work with. The second one is heartfelt candor. Okay, so when you run an organization, there's going to be a lot of moments that are uncomfortable. Just like in a relationship, there's going to be moments where you have to be honest. To me, you can't circumvent that. Like honesty is going to come up, uncomfortable conversations are going to come up, and it's our duty not to avoid them. But in the same vein, how many honest people that you've met that use honesty as a scapegoat to be an asshole? I don't like that. I'm not about that. I'm about being honest, but letting it land softly. I'm not here to tear people down. I'm not here to hurt people's egos. I'm not here to point the finger at people and make them feel bad. But if I've got some bad news to deliver it, I'm going to deliver it with compassion, with love. I know it sounds silly, but it's true. So I can't run from being honest because I'm scared to have tough conversations. I also can't be an asshole just because I get a free pass on being honest. The third value is delusional optimism, right? I don't care what the results say today. I'm optimistic that I can always do better. I want the same for our team. All right, I bring on a new hire. They're struggling. They can't figure out their role. They're having a hard time. They just feel like, God, am I ever going to get better? I don't ever let that self-talk of today get in the way of what I know I'm capable of. And it's the same expectation for my team. We just hired a new dispo manager. He's awesome. He's an amazing guy. His name is AJ. But he had a few bumps in the road initially, and he had some self-doubt, and he had some concern on whether he could actually get better. But knowing our core values and knowing what we stand for, he said, no, I know I can get better. I'm delusionally optimistic. The way I think about it is there's zero value to pessimism. Zero. Even if you're wrong, like even if you're optimistic and you're not right, the utility of optimism is so much higher than pessimism. I expect that from my team. Okay. So set your core values and let everyone on your team know those. And when you interview new people, make them aware of them as well. That's kind of your initial litmus test for if they're going to be a good fit. Okay. The next thing is what you want to do is you want to create incentives that line up with that employee's vision, right? You want them to be intrinsically motivated because they know the role that they're in can take them to where they want to go. Okay. So if someone comes in and they want things that this role can't deliver, that's probably an issue. Now, the kind of adjacent move from there is you can say, well, maybe this role won't get you there, but this role can get you to another role, which can get you there. And that's totally fine. But there needs to be a clear path forward, and they need to understand that this can actually lines up with the vision for their life. So if I'm hiring someone and they say, Sumner, I want to own my own business, what am I doing hiring you, right? I don't think that's a good fit. Now, I can't avoid that entirely. It'll happen, but this has got to resonate with their vision. I've got to be able to deliver them to that. The next thing is we want to build camaraderie within the organization. Okay. Creating spiffs, creating competitions, having daily meetings, having weekly hangouts, knowing about each other, actually giving a fuck about each other beyond just the day-to-day existence of working together. Because what happens is humans naturally do not want to let down their peers if they know, like, and love their peers, right? If the person you work with on the other side of the screen is just a name on Slack, you probably don't care that much. But if you know about their life, their family, their goals, their aspirations, who they are as a person, you no longer want to let them down. And so it removes it from just caring about your own needs and wanting the greater good for the team. And so we create a lot of opportunities within the company for us to mesh and get together and know each other. You know, some of our weekly meetings just look like us shooting the breeze for 30 minutes. Most of our weekly meetings run an hour to 2 hours. Now, I run a weekly team all hands meeting once a week, and we run a daily sales meeting as well. Now, I just run the one once a week, but I think that's so important. It's like the same thing. People will take better care of their dog than they will take care of themselves. And so you also want to create this team camaraderie where we're all in it together and we don't want to let our peer down. Now, the one thing that I do that's kind of a ninja in terms of spying on the team, if you will, the first one is obvious. Do the results match up, right? There's two results I look at. The first result is, are you actually getting the thing that you're here to do? If you're an acquisition manager, are you getting contracts and deals? If you're a dispo manager, are you getting deals sold? Okay, that's like the obvious thing, but there's latency to that. So then if those results aren't there yet, the next thing that I look at is the activity there to get us to where we need to go? So maybe they don't have the result yet, but they're grinding and I can see it in the activity metrics. But if both are down, that's a problem. That tells you everything you already need to know. The problem is most people are too weak to fire someone when they're a bad fit. They're too scared to do it. You need to get over that, right? If both of those are not in the place they need to be, and this is consistent, it's a bad fit and you need to move on. I think a lot of people have scarcity around finding new employees or having to go through the pain of hiring again. And so they let these things get really long in the tooth, and they think that the mode to manage them is just to micromanage and spy on them, opposed to letting them go and finding a better fit. When you find great fits, this no longer is an issue, in my opinion. Now, this is what I was going to say about the little ninja thing that we do is we all use Slack, and we have a company rule that we want Slack responses in 15 minutes or less. Slack is for chatting. It's for quick bang, 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 bang. We're all in the same office. I could ask you a question like that and get a response. I expect kind of the same thing inside Slack. And so if the team is asking this person questions and we're not getting a response back for hours or a day, that's an instant red flag. That tells me everything I need to know. I no longer need to spy and download software on your computer to watch you. If the results aren't there, both in terms of the actual final product and in terms of the activity, and our responses are down, it's a no-go. Like, this is just a bad fit. And so for the team, this doesn't feel like micromanaging, right? There's real rationale behind getting quick responses through Slack, but that tells me everything I need to know, as well as looking on Slack and actually seeing that they're active, right? I don't want to see that there's no little green dot for them on Slack. That tells me something. Same thing. They show up on time to our weekly meetings, on and on and on and on again. All that together will tell you everything you need to know. The only thing that has latency there is the actual final end result. And I have a lot of tolerance there. If we're doing the other things right and the end result isn't there, that's okay. We're human. Sometimes it takes time to get the results. Sometimes it takes time to get good at the thing. We've got a lot of understanding when it comes to that. But I need to see 2 out of those 3 buckets checked, or ideally 3 out of the 3. So as you guys can tell, I've got strong opinions on installing software on your team's computer to spy on them. Get better at hiring, finding the right people, creating your company values, ensuring you find people that match up with those, creating camaraderie within the organization, and then using these little slightly adjacent strategies to still get intel on the activity of your team without having to put software on their computer. All right, guys, hope this was helpful. We'll see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe, be well. Bye.